Old Guy Talks is all about creating a kick-ass life for yourself and those that you love. Don't wait, don't hesitate, don't procrastinate. Opt in now. You're going to prison just like your dad. This is Oris, the official old guy at www.oldguytalks.com, helping older guys create kick-ass lives for themselves and those that they love. So last night I had the opportunity to attend something called the Youth Impact Program, a meeting that's here in Las Vegas, and I'm part of a men's group that supports this program financially and in other ways. And what they do is they try to basically get the direction that some of these youths are going on and trying to prevent them, trying to help them to stay out of prison. And yes, I mean actual prison. And that's not a population that I'm normally used to being around. I'm sure not many of you are around people that are they're going in prison or have been in prison. I actually only know one person who's actually been in prison, and it's a friend of mine who is a DUI, vehicular manslaughter type of deal, and he was there for a few years and got out and putting his life back together. But this is where these kids, ages 8 to 17, because once you turn 18, you're no longer considered a youth and you can't participate. These are kids that are in the program here. And half of these kids are there because their parents are scared shitless. I mean, scared shitless about the direction that their lives are taking. And the other half are there because a judge, a probation officer, or someone in authority has told them that you have to be in this program. Or else you're going to go into the system, whether it's going to be not foster care, but probably like a juvenile detention center or something like that. And that unless they stay in this program, they will be in some way put into the system. Now, unless you think that this is only for the older kids that have a juvenile, have a judge or probation officer telling them what to do. I was stunned that when one of the speakers asked how many of them were there because of a judge or a probation officer told them to. About half of the kids, and some of them were as young as 8, that raised their hand. That's right, at 8, they've already been in front of a judge, have a probation officer, or somewhere along the line in the system, which was absolutely, it was just mind blowing to me. That at some point, that at that young of an age, you could be so far into the system, so far down the wrong path in your life, that this would occur. And this program is being run by ex-convicts, many of who have been down this path. Some of them have been in jail multiple times. All of them have been screened very thoroughly and actually turned their lives around. And so they understand exactly what's going on in these kids' lives. There's no candy-ass talk. There's no sugarcoating it. They understand that how many of their parents are in prison. Their dad's in prison, their brother's in prison, their uncle, cousin, somebody in their family that they know. It's just a way of, unfortunately for these kids, it is a reality. It is a way of life that many of us don't necessarily experience. And this familial thing means that for a lot of these kids, they have no other role models. This is just normal, that they're going to grow up, and this is just part of the normal process. And that at some point you're going to might get involved in a gang, some illegal activities, because you need the peer pressure, you need the support, whatever is going to happen. And a lot of these kids, some of these crimes, a lot of the crimes were auto theft, and then some of them were burglary and home invasion. I'm not sure what the difference between home invasion and burglary is, but it sounds to me pretty serious. And they were asking, like, what are some of the things that the kids have heard? And the kids are, these kids, just like lots of kids, get called all sorts of names and things like that. And, sometimes it's just blow that off and stuff. But one of the comments was that a teacher told one of the kids that you are going to end up in prison just like your dad. And you don't know whether the teacher was saying that to be mean, because they were pissed off at something the kid did, or they were trying to scare the kid into behaving properly, or whatever the reason was. And it's a horrible thing for a kid to hear, regardless of what the reasoning is on the person who's delivering that message, because sometimes people are just trying to deliver a message like that to scare someone. But the reality of this is that half of these kids, because this program's been going on for a while, half of these kids will end up in prison. not unlike their family has, not unlike their other family members. Half of them will. And the saddest part of this statistic is that kids who don't participate in a program like this one, well, their rates of incarceration are much, much higher. And that was one of the reasons why my group supports this program, because they do make an impact. There is a significant impact on the lives of a significant number of kids. Not all of them, but on a significant number of kids. So let me ask you, when was the last time you did something that was out of your comfort zone? Where'd you go someplace where the world was not like, oh, you can be anything you want. You just need to work hard and persevere and be creative, be yourself, all that other stuff that we hear so much here on LinkedIn. That's right, you hear about that on LinkedIn. And have you ever gone that? Have you ever done that? Have you gone someplace else that is not this really, really nice, polite society environment, the bubble that we live in? This is Orris, the old guy from www.oldguytalks.com, helping older guys create kick-ass lives for themselves and those that they love, and maybe sometimes other people that you don't know so well. If you are interested in creating a kick-ass life for yourself and those that you love, then become a member at oldguytalks.com and get access to the cave area, where not only do I have my interviews with doctors on cutting-edge therapies for erectile dysfunction, but I will have other things that are posted in there that will help you create that kick-ass life that you want for yourself and others. And we're going to be talking a lot about different kinds of vices and virtues. So opt in and become a member